a few words. These are sets of words which may sound alike, but they are not similar. Because when you go into the depth of those words, they are very, very different. The first set is seeing and looking. The second set is hearing and listening. And the third set is knowledge and wisdom. And when you go deeper into these words, you actually see a huge difference between the two. And sometimes I really feel it happens with me that I only see things, I only hear things, I only know things. But there is a huge jump from seeing to looking, and from hearing to listening, and from knowledge to wisdom. And that's why we have gathered here, to actually move from knowledge to wisdom. And I'm sure our honorable speaker is going to share a lot of wisdom with us today. The second reflection is my own personal reflection. And I feel when I was in today's discussion mind, it actually goes back to the monetary investment. You start thinking of the bank, you start thinking of the shillings and the euros and the dollars, but there is a big investment that our honorable speaker is going to talk about, and this investment is in one's self. And I have seen, honestly speaking, I have seen a lot of change in myself over the period of time with the investment that I've tried to do. Although I have not been very, very successful, but whatever I have done, it has actually really helped me to improve my own self. So I thought I will just start by with these two reflections. And let me just now have the honor of introducing our respected honorable guest. He's a very popular person in Mombasa, and his name is for our school in the past, and he has a very long list of credentials in his CV. I'll just quickly read it out to you. Dr. Mujahid is professionally an educator who acquired his PhD in education from the US and studied master's degree in educational administration and planning and a bachelor's degree in education and Islamic studies. Dr. Mujahid is also awaiting graduation for his second PhD, wow, in event planning option from Uganda. He has postgraduate diplomas in psychology and project management. Othman Mujahid was once a curriculum specialist at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, in charge of Islamic religious education and Islamic integrated education program. He was also the principal of Islamic Teachers College and the head of curriculum instruction and educational management, and a lecturer at Pwani University. He has been very active in areas of conflict resolution and peace building, both in Kenya and outside Kenya. He has worked as a consultant trainer in PVE and CVE with a number of organizations, including KTI, Public Affairs Office, US Embassy, SUPCAM, Kenya Community Support Center, Kenya Muslim Youth Alliance, Muhuri, and the National Center for Security Studies. He's an author, a trainer, and a motivational speaker. And the last bit of his CV, which is maybe very, very strong, and I was relating it with his name. His name is Mujahid. Yeah, and Mujahid, maybe those who know Arabic, they know it very well, what Mujahid stands for. We have Auntie Asai literal jihad much more than the jihad, right? And the jihad that is doing at the moment in full is extremism. Mujahid has carried out research on the drives of violent extremism, developed training manuals for teachers, youth, and women, and has trained over 500 imams and madrasa teachers on PVE and CVE, particularly in the area of countering violent extremism. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Othman Mujahid.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I can stand here. Good morning. It was a chilly night. Captain. Captain, what is it? Can't you, Captain? We have an emergency. What is it? Why are you disturbing me? Captain, there is a ship ahead of us and it has refused to move. Tell them to move. We've told them, Captain. Tell them again. We've told them more than 3 times and it has refused to move. I will tell them myself. Give me the microphone. Move at once. And the ship was not moving. What an arrogance. Don't they know who we are? I will tell them again. We are a mighty ship. If you don't move at once, we are going to crush you down. And the response comes back. You should move at once. My God, who are these people? Don't they realize who they are talking to? Move at once. This is the last warning. I say, move yourself at once because this is a lighthouse. In life, ladies and gentlemen, there are certain things you cannot change. There are certain things that are permanent. There are certain things that are laws of nature. What you need to do is to change yourself if you want to see things changing around you. There was no way a lighthouse, it was the ship to find another direction to avoid colliding with the lighthouse. Sometimes many of us feel like there has to be a certain environmental condition. There has to be certain people around us. There must be suitable circumstances for us to grow. But it is not always that we find those suitable circumstances for us to grow and develop. And that is why those who are wise keep on saying successful people look for environment to become successful. And if that environment is not there, they create it themselves. You do not have to be a general wandering generality. You sometimes have to become a meaningful specific. It is not what people say you are that you are. It is always what you tell yourself you are, and that is who you become. And all of us, ladies and gentlemen, we are nothing but an average of the people that we keep around us. I will therefore give you a very humble advice this morning. Kindly go back to your phone book and see the 10 people you communicate with every day. I'm afraid if those people are negative, the news are not very good. But if those people are positive, definitely you are also a positive person. Because research is showing you become out of the 10 people you communicate with every day. You communicate with intelligent people, you will have no choice but to become intelligent. Because the language they speak is language based on high levels of intelligence. You communicate with fools, I'm afraid you might be one of them. And therefore, it is very important to look at the circumstances that are around you, to look at the people you relate with very well, and that will actually contribute to who you become in life. Ladies and gentlemen, every one of us agrees that success is not a destination. Success is a journey. And success can always be attained if you as an individual decide to take the journey of success. And every success in life is guaranteed as this world has a lot of things to offer, beautiful things to offer. But only those who are willing to do what it takes to enjoy the offer will enjoy the offer. And those who are waiting for the offer to come their way, then I'm afraid they might wait for too long. Because even the one who created us decided to make it deliberate that the gold is not on the surface, it is under the ground. You got to mine it to have it. That diamond, God decided to hide it somewhere. You have to look for it. The pills in the ocean, you got to dive deep to have them. And everything and every success is within us. We have to dive within ourselves, and success will come our way. I want to assure you this morning, my brothers and sisters, without you, the word success cannot be completed. You cannot write the word success without you. It won't read success. There is in the drop, and therefore never underestimate your ability. Attention. Here I am now, huge shot. It's a miracle according to me. But it was all I truth at the moment. And there is nothing that is so complicated, there is nothing that is difficult, and there is nothing that is impossible. Why? Because even grammatically speaking, the word impossible can be written, I am possible. So nothing is very difficult. And though the elephant is so huge, you can still finish the whole of it if you decide to take slice after slice. And therefore, no matter how huge the task is in life, if you decide to go step after step with a deliberate and determined effort, you shall always conquer every challenge that is ahead of you, and finally you become the person you truly want to become in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me this morning to sell you a very interesting philosophy. And believe me, the cost for this philosophy is nil, is zero. I'm not going to charge you anything, but I just want you to buy it from me for nothing. And the philosophy I want to sell you this morning is the philosophy of investing in yourself. Because we human beings, unfortunately or fortunately, we are controlled by three things. We become what we think most of the time. I can assure you, if you think you are inferior, you will definitely become inferior. If you think you are a lion, you become a lion. If you think you are a cockroach, you become a cockroach. We are nothing but what we think most of our time. That is why Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu said, be careful of what you think, because what you think becomes how you feel. Be careful of how you feel, because how you feel becomes the way you act. Be careful of the way you act, because that becomes your character. Be careful of your character, because that ultimately becomes your destiny. But where does it start? It starts thinking with our. So it's very important for us to understand that what affects us most of the time, and that is why President Obama said it very eloquently. If you say you can, you can. And if you say you can't, you can't. So we are always affected by how we think. The second principle, we are always affected by how we feel about ourselves and about other people. And that, in another word, is what is referred to mean attitude. And you know what? They say attitude plus aptitude will take you to the higher altitude. And therefore, if you are able to control your attitude and take advantage of your aptitude, your altitude will always grow and the sky will become your lower limit. So be careful of what you put in your heads. Most of us, sometimes, if we get bigger weights, we go on diets, isn't it? And we select what to eat. And we detoxicate the body. We can do the same to our minds. If we want our minds to become smarter, and we have to go on, be a selective listener. Don't just hear, as my friend said. Be a selective listener. Don't listen to everything and to everybody. Because what goes in is what comes out. So we are always affected by what goes in our minds, and ultimately it reaches our hearts, what we call emotional capital. And that is very, very strong, because though the mind is the engine of thoughts, the heart is the moderator of those thoughts. The moment the thoughts get into your heart, you will have no way to stop them, and ultimately they will affect the way you will behave. Therefore, you have also to safeguard your emotional intelligence, your heart. Why? Because it is always the software that drives the hardware. No matter how powerful the computer is, no matter how big, strong, latest the computer is, my friend, if there is no electricity, that computer is absolutely useless. So take care of your inner side, because it is the software that drives the hardware. And what is inside you? What is inside you is the brain and the heart. If these two things are properly taken care of, the rest of the things will take care of themselves. And ultimately, my brothers and sisters, we have to be very careful with what we do, because people know us by what we do. You steal, you're called a thief. You lie, you're called a liar. You procrastinate your work, people call you lazy. You give them the permits. You give them the license to call you the way they call you because of your action. Therefore, it's very important for us to be mindful of the way we conduct ourselves, because that is what makes people identify us with. So with this, my brothers and sisters, I want us now to analyze the word investment. For those who have a pen and a paper, kindly write it down vertically. And if you don't have, don't worry. I am sure I have very intelligent people with me. Very sharp. N-V-E-S-T-M-E-N-T. Investment. What did I mean when I decided to crown this talk as personal investment is the best investment to do in your life. The key word here is investments. Success, good things, comes when you only decide to do things that you are interested in. I, in the word investment, stands for interests. When you do what you love doing, you will do without getting tired. But if you do what you don't love doing, you will always find an excuse not to do it. What does this tell us then? It tells us if you want to become successful in life, if you want to become special in life, if you want to become unique in life, if you want to get whatever you desire for yourself in life, paid. And do it very well, and ultimately it will be easy for you to succeed. I've always told people, teaching has always been in my blood. Who feels to make people who they ought to be. My mission in life has always been to take people from where they are they should be, whether I am paid or I am not paid. One of the reasons that today I have refused to become an employee of anyone, and I sign my own check at the end of the month. I therefore have the power to decide to earn 1 million, 100,000, or 1 shilling. Because at the end of the day, the person who is to sign the check is me. So the moment you make up your mind in life, look, I'm not going to allow someone to pay me, but I'm going to pay myself. But how do you reach there? You reach there if you decide to do what you love doing, and then you do it very well. The biographies of many successful people, if you read them, you will discover most of them did what they loved doing for a reason other than just monetary gains. But then ultimately, they made the money that they never thought they will make. And that is why they say, and kindly listen to this very carefully, if you do what money cannot give, you will ultimately get the money. Life is always about the 4 L's. You live, you love, you learn, and you leave legacy. So get interested in what you're doing, and everything becomes possible. I, in the word investment. N, in the word investment. The investment I'm referring to, that is personal investment, that will give you the 4 L's that I have mentioned, and will give you that personal success that you desire. And it will make you the person that you feel you should be. Because brothers and sisters, life is not about becoming who you want to become. Life is about becoming what you are. When Abrahamization, and according to him, he thought that is the highest level of human growth and development. But when he was on his deathbed, he discovered, no, there is something bigger, more important, more significant in life that needs to be added on my hierarchy of human needs. But he was so weak to write by then. So he called his scribe and told him, my dear scribe, as I am dying, kindly, in my hierarchy of human growth and development, add another level and call it the level of self-significance. And the scribe asked Abraham Maslow, what do you mean, my master? He said, tell people how many years more do they want to live after they have died. What will go with them? And what will they leave behind so that they will live forever? Just like him, he is living forever. He died many years ago, but up to today, every time you teach psychology, you have to mention Abraham Maslow. The level of significance. What you become, what is more in of serving others more than you serve yourself. And what is interesting about that philosophy is the more you give, the more you get. Every value you add on an individual or any other person, that value ultimately comes back to you. Every success you decorate on other person, that success comes back to you. And that's the beauty of it. And in the word investment, for us to become who we want to become, we have to stop being negative. Majority of us don't grow to our full potential because we undermine our abilities. We indulge in the repetition of statement that I can't, not me. It's meant for others. Who am I? My friend, learn this from me today. No one can make you feel small until you allow them to do so. If there is anything that no one has power on in terms of the gifts that God bestowed us with, is the gift of the mind. Is not what people say. And therefore, do not allow the opinion of other people on you become your reality. Don't. Majority of us, as we were growing up, there were people who were telling us, no, forget about becoming a doctor. Forget about becoming a professor. Forget about becoming what you're thinking you will become. People like you don't reach there. But I remember always telling myself, no. And I went for a meeting, and before the meeting started, they announced anyone who does not have a PhD does not qualify to sit in this meeting. So kindly, naturally mad. And I was telling myself, what is this paper called PhD? How does somebody who has PhD look like? No choice, it was university. So all of us walked out. And as we were walking out, I was telling my and he laughed. And I went to and I was working like a madman. And thank God my vice chancellor decided to give me a study leave of 3 years. And therefore I was now a full-time student doing 3 PhDs. One on curriculum studies, one on early childhood education, one on management, education, management, planning option. I've graduated with 2. Now I'm waiting for 1 in October to graduate. After that, I took my papers and I told whoever told us to walk away, Here are the papers, but believe me, I taught at the university without PhD. With a PhD, I am going to work for myself. Here is my resignation letter. I'm not going to work here anymore. Now I am going to use what I have to do what I want. It's good sometimes not to be negative. All of us can do anything we want to do. In Islam, we say in the Quran, inni ja'ilun fil ardhin khalifa. And I don't think Allah is, sorry to use these words, Allah is crazy and is not sure of what he wants to do, that he said he will create us to be the vicegerent on this earth and then turns us to become two fools. No. Are you getting my point? So that means all of us, we are born with potentials to become whoever we want to become. And in Christianity, God says, I have created you in my own image. Therefore, I don't think God is a fool. And therefore, he has created some fools on this earth. I don't think so. That means everything that happens to us is out of our own making. We decide. We are all given equal opportunities. Because if there is anything that God has distributed equally, is the brain. Though some of us can learn faster than the others, but all of us can learn. The only difference is the degree of learning. As long as you are born normal, you have the ability to learn. The only difference is the speed of learning. Some of us, we are fast learners. Some of us, we are average learners. And some of us, we are slow learners. But all of us are learners. All of us can learn. Therefore, you need to stop looking at yourself as someone who does not have the capabilities, the abilities to become whatever he or she wants to become in life. Never be negative. There is no way you can invest in yourself if you are a negative individual. V in the word investment. There is something very interesting, and I'm glad the first speaker used it as her title for her talk, the value. The market pays people according to the value they bring to the market. They don't pay people according to the way people look like. They don't pay people because of their background, where they come from. They pay people according to the value they bring to the market. I always tell people, though it's a joke, but it's true sometimes. Think maybe by chance we have a place where human beings are being sold. Maybe we have a special market, not slavery. Being bought because of issues, being of value, and therefore we take you there. You think you're going to teacher, and there is a place where teachers are bought there to buy the good teachers. How many good schools do you think will buy you? Are you getting my point? Let's say you are a mother, and there is a place where substitute mothers are being sold because some biological mothers have failed their children. And all these children come here to select which mother to buy. How many children do you think will buy you as a mother? Let's say you're a father. And now we take you to this place where everybody is looking for a father to buy. And these people, they don't know financially. They want a quality father. How much do you think if you're taking that particular? And if, my dear brothers, make sure your yesterday is not equal to your today, and your tomorrow will be greater than your today. They say yesterday is mystery, yesterday is history, tomorrow, but today is a gift. That's why in English we call it today. It's about today. It is what you do today, now, that will determine how your tomorrow will become. My dear brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't, because you can't change that. And it's not really an issue where you're standing now. No, that's really not an issue. The issue is, where do you want to be tomorrow. That's why people talk of dreams. That's why people talk of vision. That's why people talk about future. And my friend Les Brown keeps on saying it very loudly in his book. He says the best way of predicting future is by creating it yourself, then present it before God and say, this is the future I want, God. This is the future I want. Can you bless it for me? You have to paint it yourself with the colors of your choices. And you say, God, this is what I want. Can you give it to me? And believe me, God is not known to be unjust. He doesn't give you what you cry for. That one you must understand. He only gives you what you work for. Majitahada wajada. Those who struggle, those who strive every day will always succeed. Therefore, it's very important for us to understand one fundamental principle that we need to adopt this morning is the principle of being positive every time. Dead. Believe me, but because they are on angry and you produce adrenaline and you get stomach ulcers, and before you realize you are highly stressed just because I looked at you from a corner and not direct in your face. And therefore that has really made your day a very bad day. And it has made the whole working environment a very hostile environment, because one of the good days I came to school and because I was very busy, I was not able to say hi. And you say this guy now is becoming too proud and too special. He's not even saying hi to people. I will also going to revenge. And therefore you kill yourself, hurting me, hating me while I'm busy enjoying myself. Are you getting my point? It's not about others. It's about I. Can you repeat the word I? I. That word is so important because nobody can use it except I. It's a very special one. No one else can use it except I. We must stop being negative. We must increase our value. That is why Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of the Most Effective People, he says, habit number 7, sharpen your soul. Make sure you don't live 2 equal days in your life. Don't. If you cannot add anything else, at least add an additional English vocabulary. So at least you say, yesterday I had 600 vocabularies to 600 and okay, and so at least yesterday I had 10 friends, today I have 11 of them. But don't allow, and this was a very good teaching from Sayyidina Ali radhiallahu anhu, that when you spend 2 equal days in your life, you have wasted your life. Your value every day. After 5 years, you have a degree, from Harvard University degree for the last 25 years. That is, what are you talking about, my friend? Are you getting my point? Yeah, you have to add value. You have to continue growing. They say a rolling stone never gathers dust. And our bodies, by the way, and life and the world as a whole, those who are specialists of this area, they say it is full of movements. You know why? Because one of the characteristics of stagnant water, of someone who is stagnant, is they smell. You get my point? They stink. Therefore, if you don't grow in life, you will stink. Because you will always keep on telling people the same things you have been telling them. E. If you want to invest in yourself, my dear brothers and sisters, make sure you learn from the experts. Learn from the experts. What do I mean by that? There is nothing that is to do that somebody else has not done. Why then do you have to start from zero? Go to those who have already done what you're doing, learn from them, plus what you know, you become better than them. You don't have to start from one every time you are counting. There are people who have already counted up to trillion. Are you getting my point? So what you should do is to use what they have, add what you have, and you will definitely have more than what they have. This is what they say, brothers and sisters. If you are willing to have more than what many people will not have tomorrow, then you must be willing to do what many people don't want to do today. If you want to have more, you must do more. You can't convince me I am sleeping only 4 hours a night and you are sleeping 10 hours a night and you still want us to be equal. No way. You can't do that. You can't convince me I'm reading 10 books per month and you're reading 1 book per year and you expect to be equal with me. No way. If you want more, you got to do more. It's the law of nature. You can't change it. You do more, you get more. And therefore, it's very important. They say what? They say a dwarf sees further than the giant. But this is a dwarf and this is a giant. How can a dwarf see further than the giant? They say when the dwarf decides to climb on the shoulders of the giant, then the dwarf will see further than the giant. If you take advantage of what is already available, and that's why they say go up to the end of the road and then create your own path. Don't insist on passing other people's roads every day. No, go where there are no roads and make your own road. And success will always become your way. Learn from the expert. Investment. S. What did I mean? Or what do we mean by the word S? You get what you give. Therefore, sacrifice. When you sacrifice what you love, you will get what you want. We love sleep, isn't it? It's beautiful. It's sweet to sleep. But sometimes you're forced to sacrifice the sleep because there is a book you have to read because you have an exam to do. You have sacrificed the sleep, read your book, and you pass your exam. There is a project you're working on and it's very demanding, requires a lot of time. You sacrifice entertainment, you sacrifice outing, stay in your office, work very hard. At the end of the day, the project is completed, you have succeeded. You sacrifice and you have earned. As investment requires a lot of sacrifice. I had a friend of mine who was a doctor at the university. And every time I visited him, he will give me a cup of black tea. One day I couldn't help it, so I asked him, my friend, what's wrong with you? How can you give your visitors black tea, for God's sake? After all, we were just paid yesterday. The accounts are still very fat. Why are you so mean? And he laughed and said, Mujahid, I will give you an answer after a year. I said, fine, but I don't think it's fair when people come to your house and you're giving them black tea. Okay, and we stayed like that, and one day he told me, can we go for a drive somewhere? And in Clifford, there is a place called Bofa. So we drove along the Bofa Road, and then we stopped somewhere, and there was a very nice gate, and we entered. And he said, Mujahid, the black tea I gave you is what gave me this house. Because I was saving to finish my house. So the whole year I gave you a cup of black tea. Today I want to give you a special treat, but in my own house, not the university house. Are you getting my point? You have to give what you love today in order to have what you want tomorrow. So sacrifice. Majority of people don't make it in life because they don't want to sacrifice. And as a result of that, they don't grow. They will always remain constant at the same level. They don't create what you call a jumping castle. You know, you got to create a jumping castle so that you start warming up and finally you are up. You go. Okay? And they say jump high even if you don't have wing and fly down when you have already grown the wings. Don't wait for the wings to grow on the ground because they might not grow. So it doesn't mean you can't fly because you don't have the wings. Fly up, the wings will grow because you will need them in order to land safely. But if you wait for them to grow so that you can jump, you will wait for too long. T in the word investment. Everything has its time. You must wait for the right season. Timely investment gives more reward than haphazard investment. You need to do what you need to do at the time when you have to do it. The biggest enemy of most of us is this funny word called procrastination. Some of us keep on saying, it's too old, I'm too old to start again. It's too, by the way, get this from me today. You are never too young and you're never too old to start dreaming. And that's why they say, if you cannot see it, you can't have it. You must apply the law of visualization. You got to see it. You got to see Jaffery at the highest level, at the top, for you to take it to the top. You build a house in your mind before you put it on the ground. And therefore, lives are built in thinking before actualizing them, and finally having it erected on the ground. Therefore, it's very important for us to take care of time. You know, one bitter reality about life is that you cannot stop yourself from growing old. Of the time when I'm talking to my students and I want to motivate them, I tell them, my friends, I want you to imagine two situations and tell me which one is good for you. One situation, you are very old. On top of being old, you're also sick. On top of being sick, you're also illiterate. On top of being illiterate, you are also broke, no money, and above all, ugly. And my student will look at me, no, sir, I don't think we want that. You sure you don't want that? I said, yes, I don't want to be old. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be illiterate, and I don't want to be ugly. You don't like that scenario? No, I don't like it. Look at this one. You're young, highly educated, very healthy, loaded with finances, and you are very beautiful. Whoa, that's what I want. I say, then if you want this scenario, the book will give you all. Just make sure, as Shakespeare said, make friends with your books. Everything that is included in the second package can be given by the book. Get busy reading, and ultimately you will never. One secret I have learned is educated people don't grow old. You become attractive up to the last minute of your life. And the older you become, the more valuable you are seen by the society. It's always very interesting to be treated by an old doctor because he has a lot of experience. It's always very interesting to be taught by an old teacher because he has very interest. Are you getting my point? And therefore, the only way you can be able to make yourself that person who will be useful from the birth to the grave is when you decide to marry books and read very hard. So try me. The Swahilis have one saying which says, kila jambo kwa jambole wakati. That means everything has its time. When it is time to sleep, sleep enough. Don't sleep too much. Are you getting my point? When it is time to read, read enough. And when it is time to have fun enough. Because every extreme is dangerous. So make sure, as Stephen Covey says, balance your life. And that is the 8th habit of effective living. Balance your life. Make sure you give the mind what it deserves to have. Make sure you give the heart, nourish the heart as it deserves to be nourished. And make sure you maintain the structure of your body as it deserves to be maintained. Timely investment. M. Life has no meaning unless you give it one. Because even mosquitoes live, isn't it? Even flies live, cockroaches live. Life has no meaning unless you decide to give it one. So what is the meaning of your life? Because living a purposeful life is giving it a purpose. Why do you think God took time to bring you to this earth. What did he want you to do on this earth? Teach children very well, manage your school very well, take care of, what is it? The moment, they say the moment you know the reason why you are living, living becomes very fulfilling and very interesting. The only thing you need to do is to take yourself to task and find the purpose, find the reason, find the meaning. And therefore the letter M in the word investment, find meaning, why you are investing in yourself. One thing I have learned very interesting is when you are an educated person, when you have reached your highest potential, even those who don't like you have no choice but to like you. They have no choice. Are you getting my point? Because you have what they need, isn't it? Take, for example, you're a medical doctor and your enemy is very sick. Where will he go? Are you getting my point? You are a teacher and you're teaching in a very successful people, and the neighbor who keeps on frowning her face whenever she sees you, now the child has matured to go to Form 1. Where do you think this enemy is going to take the child to? Will ultimately come to you. By the way, let me give you a secret of good living. When you smile, you create dimples, but when you frown, you create wrinkles. So make sure you smile every time. Right? Get my point? Feel good about yourself. And that's the beginning of every success, feeling good about yourself. They talk about the 3 E's. The E of being excited about your life, because there's only one time of living, no rehearsal. You won't come back here. Maybe you'll be somewhere else, not here. Are you getting my point? Therefore, you have to be excited about it. Then you have to be enthusiastic. And then you will become energetic. The 3 E's, very important. Therefore, create a certain meaning in your life. And that will make your life a wonderful process. And it will give you the satisfaction that all of us, sometimes we are willing to give any money, but the money cannot buy. You have to create it yourself. Meaning, investment, and then the next E. Keep on encouraging yourself. Encourage yourself. Don't allow yourself to get bored. Don't allow yourself to get discouraged. And how do you encourage yourself? You encourage yourself by always remembering what you have done, which is good. Forget about the evil. Always insist on thinking about the good that you have done. Think more achievement than you are failures. Because that is what will illuminate, that is what will give you the energy. That's motivation, and every motivation increases more achievement. But if you insist on remembering every little what I call clash you had with someone, every little mistake that you made in your life, then definitely you will have a problem. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to share with you an advice I always give to my students. I tell my students today, my dear students, I've converted you to become a pencil. You are all pencils. And they will wonder why you're calling us pencil and not an ink pen. We use pencil to write in primary. We are at the university. We need to says you look beautiful from outside. You are a pencil because there's something inside you that writes. And that's the reason why you're called a pencil. You're not a pencil because there's so many good flowers around you. The pencil is a pencil because there is something inside which writes. So remember, you have to take care of your mind. Number 2, remember, you as a pencil, you're very lucky because whatever you write, you can rub. Don't insist on remembering your mistakes. Rerub them. History is not only being read, it is also being written. Write good history. If the previous one was not good, write a good one now. But remember, Mr. Pencil, as you write, everybody will read. So write good things, don't write bad things. Because your children will come and read about your life. Your grandchildren will also come and read about your life. And some of them will be bold enough to say, Mom, I saw you a Form 4 certificate and you got an E in math. You must be a fool. Can you imagine your own son telling you, Mom, Dad, I saw your certificate, you got an E in English. You are a fool, Mom, and he has the right to call you a fool because you failed. You get my point? So be careful of what you write, because what you write, everybody will read. We read. Remember, my dear pencil, you are a pencil, but if we put you on the desk, you won't be able to write. Someone has to hold you. So respect the hands that feeds you. Respect the people that pushes you. Respect the people who support you, who teach you, who guide you, who tell you good things. And finally, my dear pencil, remember, for you to become a good pencil, you have to be sharpened. Life is about pain. No pain, no gain. It's obvious. It's the law of nature. If you want stareh every day, forget it. You will always remain there. You can never grow. So it's important for us to encourage ourselves. That means we have to keep on telling ourselves what is good and avoid repeating, become the prophecy of doom. That you always remember yourself, I was wrong there, I did this to this person, and you know what? Have you ever watched the talk shows? The talk shows of, which talk show do you know, for example? So Winfrey, Oprah Winfrey, You know, those people who go for talk shows, unfortunately, when you tell the whole world that this is how life treated me, and I'm very fortunate, according to statistics, 50 people who are listening, they are happy with you and not them. Are you getting my point? If you keep on amplifying your problems to people, 50% of the people you are telling are very happy that it is happening to you and is not happening to them. And 25%, they want you to go so quickly so that it doesn't leave you and goes to them. So there is no need to keep on, glorifying your challenges. You have to talk of your achievements more than your challenges, and that will give you a lot of encouragement. Investment, ladies and gentlemen. For you to be able to invest and sell to everybody, you have to be a neutral individual. In class, you should not take sides, so the students can feel that you favor some and you don't like others. At home, you have to be neutral. All children are your children. In the community, you have to show people that you are there for everybody. And that is when you'll get all the customers, all the clients. That is when you'll get all the people to appreciate you. But if you become segregating in your thinking, if you discriminate other people and you only work with few people, definitely you won't be able to have a very good investment. The last letter in the word investment, ladies and gentlemen, is T. Whatever you do, do it thoroughly. Even when you sweep, as Mother Teresa said, sweep very well, so that people will say, one day there was a sweeper in Jaffery Academy who swept very well. And people will miss you. They say, all of us, when we come to this world, we come crying, isn't it? And if you don't cry, people will make you cry, because the doctor will get worried. The baby is born and it's not crying. But when you live your life, live it so well, so that when you are going, you go smiling. And people are crying. Don't make people cry twice. And don't make yourself cry twice. Make sure your life, whatever little that you're doing very well. I always tell people, look, how do you think your boss will react if you take a resignation letter? And you've gone to see the principal. Mr. Principal, I'm sorry, but I think I have to go. You go? No. Sit down. Let's talk. Let's negotiate. What's the problem? Money. And then, are you that person when you go to see the principal? Mr. Principal, I think I am going. Oh, thank God. Ooh. At least he or she has resigned herself. At least we have no issue with labor. Are you getting my point? Are you that kind of a person when you're going, people are sad you're going, or are you that kind of person when you go, people are happy that you are going? One problem solved. To conclude my lecture, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you now the 10 C's of great success in life. The 10 C's that assisted me to become who I am today. And by the way, I haven't reached yet. I'm still growing. I'm still growing. And I'm sure if I get another opportunity to come here, a year from today, I will definitely tell you how I have changed and what I have added on myself, that I'm no longer the Mujahid I was here on the 2nd April 2016. Now I am a different Mujahid because I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Are you getting my point? So the 10 C's that assisted Mujahid to become the Mujahid, that person who strives in order to see everybody else is happy. And to prove me right, kindly can you smile, please? Can everybody smile? Just smile a little bit. Just good. Thank you. Now the first C is the C of clarity. You have to see it to get it. You have to see it to have it. What the mind can conceive and the heart can believe, you can always achieve. Look at a child as if he or she is already the person you want to see in life, and he becomes exactly that. And this is what people call dream. This is what people call vision. That means I'm saying they say this: you can never hit a target that you cannot see, and you can never see a target which you don't have. You can't. So C number 1 is clarity. C number 2, competencies. Do a gradual, consistent analysis on yourself and discover the gaps in what you do. Don't wait for people to tell you, my friend, I think you're weak in this. My friend, you're weak in this. No, tell yourself. I think I need to improve on this. I think I need to work on my communication skills. I think I need to do this. And I'm talking about important competencies of life. 1, spiritual competency. If you have any faith, if you believe in any God, if you believe in God, make sure you get close to that one. Spiritual competency. Competency number 2, social competencies. If you have problems with people, please settle that out. Use your social intelligence. What they call social capital, relational capital. Be good with those who are around you, particularly the inner core. Which is the inner core? The inner core is the immediate family. Be a mother that radiates happiness when she is at home. Be the father that assures support when he is at home. Be in good terms with those who mean something to you. Social competency. Number 3, we have economic competence. There is nothing as bad as also coins that make some noise, because money attracts money. Good attracts good. Please don't walk without coins in your pocket. As they make noise, they will remind you to do something that you have in your pocket are nothing than being financially independent. The moment you acquire financially independence, whatever you will do because you like doing it. No one will force you to do something that you don't like doing. And you will enjoy any kind of an assignment that is given to you because you're not doing it because. And then what we call is political competency, please. If you're running an institution, if you're running a business, make sure you are at peace with the political structures, because they can decide to cripple you down. So don't take sides. Be neutral. So that you will political, learn how to interact with those who are in power. Learn how to interact with them, those who are in power. And then have what is beautiful. God. One day, we were sitting along the beach in Malindi, and some nice, good-looking ladies passed. And my friend decided to stare at these ladies until all of us got a little bit irritated. And I said, my friend, why did you look at those ladies for too long? He said, yes, because, we are told you look only once. So I wanted to make sure I have looked until I'm satisfied, so that when I turn my head, I won't look the second time. That's just a commercial break. Don't worry about that. Okay, so it's very important to have aesthetical competency. Admire what is good and say this is good. Don't be envious. That's what I mean. Some people die not because of anything, because they are envious. Jealousy is poison. It kills you from inside. Appreciate all that which is good, and you'll find a lot of comfort in your heart. They call this aesthetical competencies. So the second C is the C of competencies. Get all the competencies that you need. They say the 21st century is a century of cash. K-A-H is the century of cash. K in the word cash stands for knowledge. Get as much knowledge as you can. Don't do things with ignorance. Do whatever you're doing with a lot of information. Get the information. A in the word cash is attitude. Be positive. S in the word cash, get the necessary skills so that you're not regarded to be outdated and taken out of the market. You went to school 20 years ago, now you have forgotten most of the things and you don't fit where you're working anymore. People are graduating every day. Make sure you're not subjected to redundancy. You can't fit anymore, though you have a BSc in IT and whatever, but the IT you knew was the IT of 1980. This is 2016, my friend, so you have to be careful, right? Make sure the pedagogical skills are changing. Psychology, the children of today are not the children of yesterday. So if you still want to apply the psychology of 19th century in the 20th century, you are really making a big and a huge mistake. So get the skills and make sure you are up to date. And H, my dear brothers and sisters, adapt good habits. We are nothing but an average, what you call the sum of our habits makes us. And what is interesting is that when we are young, we make our habits, and when we are old, the habits make us. The third C, clarity, competency. The third C is the C of cooperation. No one succeeds alone. In a team, they say, together, everybody achieves more. No one. A man was not created as an island, was created as a social animal. We all need each other in order to succeed. So cooperation. The fourth C is the C of consultation. Don't assume you know it all. You're not alpha and omega. Keep on doing regular consultations. Shura. Consult where you feel there is a limitation on your side. Consult. That is very, very important. The fifth C is the C of consideration. They're not like you. They think differently. Remember, you are in an environment that is different, maybe from the environment you came from. Be considerate in whatever you are doing. C number 1. Number 6, consistency. Whatever you do, make sure you do it very well. And if you want to do it very well, do it every day. Whoever is an expert today, remember, whoever is an expert today was once a learner. Therefore, you can also learn and become an expert. Each one was born a baby. None of us was born a doctor. That made some of us real sense. We were once babies, all of us. According to research, every baby lies the same way in the womb of the mother. The Asian baby, the European baby, and the African baby. They become different after being born. And what makes them different is the choices they make in life. So make sure you choose selectively and carefully, so that ultimately it will not affect you from who you will become in life. Are we together? That is consistency. And the next C is the C of common sense. Certain things you don't need to be a professor to understand. There are things that are quite obvious. The day is a day because there is a sunshine, and the night is night because it is dark. You can't change the two. So don't pretend a policeman in our minds. Remember that? The brain has the three sections. The section of ID, that is id, where the Muzungu got the word idiot. You don't think, you only do things without thinking. You are an idiot. Yeah. Then you go to the ego, where you have the debate. Do I do it or don't I do it? And the moment it goes to the last part, the super ego, whether you like it or not, you will always do what is right. So think, and as you think, you will always do what is right. Which C am I in? Number 8 is the C of creativity. There are so many ways of killing the rat. So don't worry. If you cannot go to school full-time, go part-time. If you cannot go part-time, do it online. Man, there are so many ways. Things are now easy. Not like before. What are you waiting for? There are so many opportunities for us to grow. Listen to this. They say, falling down is the beginning of growth, but remaining down is the beginning of death. Everybody falls down. But the difference comes, how long do you take to stand up again? Falling down is the beginning of growth, but remaining down is the beginning of death. Which C am I in at the moment? 9. Competition. Comparison. I want to believe most of us know a little bit of Kiswahili. They say, angalia chini, ushukuru. At least you are somewhere above quite so many. But don't stand there. Then look at and dhukuru and reflect. How do I also reach there? Okay, I am better than so many, but still there are some people ahead of me. And therefore you need to really. And that's why they say, if you aim at the moon, if you want to aim very high, because if you miss the moon, at least you land on one of the stars. But don't remain lowly, because the oxygen up there is pure and clean. Then hurry up. And if you have to climb the ladder in order to reach up, I want to make sure the ladder right way. And you cannot fit there. You have to go down again and start all over again. And that's very important. And the last C is the C of caring. The C of caring. And those are what I call the 10 C's that have made Mujahid the Mujahid he is today. As I sit down, I want to sit down with this quote. If you refuse to drink from the fountain of knowledge, if you refuse to drink from the fountain of knowledge, you will die of thirst in the desert of ignorance. Thank you, and God bless you.
I believe it has really given all of us here wings. We feel like flying. In fact, we are in the there's another quote which says, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are teeny matters compared to what lies within us." And another one which says, "A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere till you change it." So I believe, inshallah, from now on, we are all positive people and we'll all fly high. Next, we'd like to call anyone who has questions to pose for our guest speaker. We can accept 2 from the ladies and 2 from the gentlemen. Any question? No questions. From the gentleman? To Nabil Shikeli, our secondary student, for a few quotes and words of wisdom. Welcome, Nabil.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Mujahid, thank you so much. Just to add on to what he has said, when I first got to know the topic is investment, I thought money, money. But no, let's take it in another way. In other terms, investing in yourself can building and preparing yourself for life events and obstacles, but most of all, creating a better you. You know, it may not be as profitable as it is when you invest money, but trust me, it does have its beneficial side. The best way to achieve a successful and a high quality life is by placing a priority on investing a personal and professional growth. It really plays a large role in determining the life now and the life that you're going to have in future. Different ways on how to invest yourself personally. I'm sure you heard Mr. Mujahid when he talked about cash. I'll refer to the K, knowledge. Advance your education. Sure, you've gone to school, you've learned about what you're studying, but that's not it. The world is very infinite. Take extra classes. Be a professional in what you're doing. Creativity. Sorry, man, but I know that most of the women over here love cooking. So be creative. My mom and my sister always laugh at me when I'm in the kitchen because I tend to mix spices here and there, and they don't want to eat my food. But remember, to be successful, you always have to go through failures. So that's how you get to the top. Be creative. Don't rely on videos because your mind has different views. One of my favorites is your body. I do not mean going to the gym, paying so much money and working out. No, your body is like a machine. You have to oil it, eat right, reduce the amount of fatty foods, because in the end, you will be the one to blame for your health if you have a heart attack, too much fat. Rest, rest, rest. Work on heat and most probably not work. You need the right amount of rest to perform your tasks. And exercise. I don't mean, like I said, I don't mean going to the gym. Walk. Avoid using the car. If it's a short distance, take a walk. You're at least freshening up your system. So, when you invest in your self-personality, you take responsibility for your life, your circumstances, and your happiness. You become the agent, you become the doer, and you become the effector. However, if you sit back and don't make the effort to take charge of your life, trust me, you're deliberately setting yourself up for events that are going to affect you negatively. A very famous person at the time called Brandon Pereira Almeida said, when you invest in yourself personally, it's like sailing on a boat. Picture yourself, you're in the middle of the sea, you're the captain, you've got no crew. And all of a sudden, what happens? The boat sprouts a leak. If you had not prepared, you'd be scrambling, you'd be screaming, praying to God that you do not sink and you do not drown. But let's look at this in another way. You prepared for this situation. You carried the sufficient tools needed. What would you do? You would relax, calm down, go and fix the leak on your vessel and continue with your journey. It's a life situation, but taken in two different ways. You see, nothing is guaranteed for us. You may plan it to go good, but in the end, it will be bad. Sheikh Akbar once said, forgive me for my Arabic, but I might not be that fluent. على استثمر في نفسك لديها القدرات على تغير لكم ليس فقط ولكن لا تغير على خيرا. The translation is, in so much power, only changes yourself, but also has an effect on others. So don't change yourself for the fact, for knowing that you're just going to change yourself. No, other people look at you. They will see the positivity, and that will be the key to help them change as well. So you're not just setting an example for yourself. No, it's the entire world. Bear in mind that the world as I said, they refuse that studying has no stop in life. The world is so big. You might not be interested in learning other things, but trust me, there are other cultures around the world. Explore, travel, learn so much, and hopefully they might interest you. So, with that being said, let us take the time to invest in ourselves by developing all our aspects, physically and spiritually. Remember, to be the best and to bring the best greatness out of you is to explore and change, not forgetting, always live life to the fullest. Thank you.
Thank you for those wise words as well. We are now welcoming Miss Rosie for a vote of thanks.
It has been an awesome time for us just to sit and reflect on so many things that we have learned. I'm seeing a speaker very soon in the name of Nabil Shikeli standing on the Jews circle. Dr. Mujahid, every time I listen to you, I get the goosebumps because you do it from your heart. We have picked a lot. It's our desire that all these things we've picked from the interest, negative thoughts, value, encouraging, sacrifice, time, etc. All these things will build us because that's the purpose of Joe's wisdom. Thank you so much that you've spared your time to come here. We know how busy your schedule is, but you have been here like this is all you wanted to do. So God bless you immensely. God bless you. I would like to now call upon Mr. Tajani, who has one or two things to do, and as well as present something to our guest speaker. Go ahead, please kindly come. This is something symbolic. God bless you. We hope that there will be more black tea to use in it as houses are built. Thank you, Mr. Tajani.
Thank you so much. I know it's very late, but a minute of your time. Today is the third session of JAWS, and I just want to share two achievements. And I think our success has been enormous. The first achievement is we have a particular talk on live on YouTube, and we are very grateful and thankful to Islamic Online University. Yeah, and we have Mr. Tahir, representative from there. So thank you very much for helping us putting this on live. So can we please appreciate their contribution and their support? That is one achievement. The second achievement is that we are going from national to international now. The reason being that the next speaker is an international speaker. His name is Mr. Mr. Jawad Khaki. Jawad Khaki happens to be the vice president of Microsoft International. He's worked with Bill Gates, and he's a very well-renowned philanthropist. Last week, I received an email from a colleague of his, and they are coming for a short visit to Mombasa. And he had shown interest to speak to the teachers and the students of Jaffery Academy. And I introduced JAWS to him, and he was highly appreciative of the effort, and he said he will be the next speaker for JAWS. So mark your calendars, 7th of May, hopefully the first Saturday of May. We'll see you hopefully either this place or in the Mullah Asghar Hall. Thank you very much for your presence, your time, and your continued support.